Hi there, this is Craig the Natural Medic. I am in the Needles District of Canyonlands National Park. Canyonlands National Park is unique because it's divided by the confluence of the Green River and the Colorado River. There are a bunch of canyons, hence the name. It's divided into three districts. The northeastern district called Islands in the Sky, which we'll be visiting later today. This one is called the Needles, probably the second most remote. Just coming through and checking it out today. Going to try to make it to the Islands in the Sky district later. I hope you'll follow me through Canyonlands National Park, Needles District. I'm at the end of the park road here at the Big Spring Canyon Overlook. You can hike down here from this spot to the confluence of the Colorado River and the Green River. But not doing that today, but just want to give you a good overview of this area. Lots of desert vegetation here. You have some Mormon tea on the ground, pinyon pine, lots of junipers, and weird looking mushroom shaped rocks. Reminds me of something in Mario Brothers. Showing my age here. But we're going to backtrack to the front of the park and go out. Follow me. The Confluence Overlook Trail. You can look 1,000 feet down to see the joining of two great rivers, the Green and the Colorado. It was first mapped in 1859 by the U.S. topographical engineers of the Macomb expedition. They only viewed it from a place above, imagining the power. But you can actually hike there. It's an 11-mile round trip. It takes 5 to 6 hours. Depending on what time of year you go, it could be pretty extreme. But I definitely want to do it sometime. Okay, on the Slickrock Trail, just going to the first viewpoint here. I thought it was a nice viewpoint for everybody to check out. The La Salle Mountains, which are right there by Moab, are that way. You keep going to the northeast, that's going to be towards the rivers. Got a lot of potholes down here on the ground. That's pretty neat. But I definitely wanted to share this viewpoint. As you can see, almost 360. For our next trick, we're going to walk on Pothole Point Trail, which is a 0.6 round trip trail, 45 minute. And it's so named because of these potholes, which form after rainwater falls and different animals collect in there, like snails, beetles, worms, shrimp, which can form from eggs or kind of come alive from dormancy. Let's go check it out. Interesting feature of this trail is the mushroom rocks. The harder rock on top is more of the capstone. The underlying rocks are a little bit softer and erode or weather more easily, forming this mushroom-shaped rock. And there's another one right here. Isn't that cool? Feeling like I'm in a Super Mario game. You can see some really large potholes over there. Just some plants, rocks, and ice. It's cold enough that there was ice in these pools last night. The idea is whenever they're dry, you should not walk through them because they could have organisms lying dormant. In this case, you have this cryptobiotic soil crust, that little crunchy looking stuff. You don't want to walk on that anyway. Perfectly okay to walk on the rock around them. Lots of potholes that could form here. When it rains, watch your step. Try not to walk through the holes. But look at all these cool rocks. What a visit to the Needles district of the Canyonlands National Park. How would it be complete without seeing the needles themselves? The needles were formed, as you see down on the bottom diagram. Sandstone was gradually sliding under a layer of salt toward the Colorado River, which is to my right as I'm standing here filming this. That caused the sandstone to fraction to parallel cracks, and then they formed it, which we call the needles today. Erosion continues. It's gonna be hard to see them, but I'll try to zoom in. There they are. Don't have time to drive down to that particular spot, but I wanted you to see the needles. Pretty cool. Okay, it might be hard to see, but standing at the overlook for the wooden shoe arch, and it is straight out this way. You can see it on top. It looks like a wooden shoe. Is it a wooden shoe? Probably not. I don't think a giant Dutchman left his shoe up there. But we use our imaginations to form these shapes for different things that we see in the landscape. This is called wooden shoe arch. The sea flooded the area, left behind lots of layers of salt sand sediments. The red and white layer hardened, and then over time it weathered and eroded and formed this shoe-looking arch. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, probably our last stop on this trip, we're going to check out what's called the Stone Storehouse, which is a short walk from the road, about a 0.3 round trip. It was a indigenous spot where they stored their local foodstuffs. Let's check it out. If you look up in here, there's the Stone Storehouse. It's a cylindrical storage area. The door is on the roof. Sometimes the doors were on the sides and they're covered with rock slabs. It's not really known what this was used for exactly. We know it was a storehouse for something, but they don't know what exactly was stored in there. Was it ceremonial items? Was it foodstuffs? Who knows? Whatever was in there was removed by looters before this was a park, or was eaten by rodents. Pretty much what you find in there now is just pack rat droppings. Places like this usually were built in inaccessible areas to protect the contents of whatever was in there. The narrow-leaf yucca was one of the plants. They talked about several plants on this trail. The tribes use every part of that plant. The spines on the end of the leaf here, they use those as needles. They made the fibers into cord and rope and wove them into sandals and mats. The flowers and fruits can be eaten, and the roots yield saponin, which was used as soap. When you're in the Southwest, there is a thing called cryptobiotic soil. Make sure you stay on the trails that are already blazed. This one's pretty well laid out with a rock pathway, but just off of the path you have this cryptobiotic soil, which can be harmed and can cause deficits to the plants in the area if you step off that and crush that. So don't do that. Yeah, so the Needles district of Canyonlands definitely deserves more exploration. Next time I'm over that way, hopefully we'll be able to explore some when the weather is better and I have more time. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you approve, and it gets out to more people on Facebook. Any questions, comments about what you might have seen in the video, leave them below. Until next time, see you on the trail. Okay, bye.